Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, guys. So now we're going to look at a nominal sentence with a pointing phrase. Just as a quick review, a pointing phrase is made up of two components. You have a pointing word. And these are a list of the pointing words here. We have hada and all the variations of it, which are pointing to something that's close, usually translated as this or these. Then we have dhalika and all of its variations, and that's usually translated as that or those, and it's pointing to something that's far. So to make a pointing phrase, you first have a pointing word, so one of these, then you have a word coming after it with an alif lam, and that means that you're pointing directly at it. So let's take a look at an example. Hadal masjidu would be translated as this masjid, right? And we call the pointing word in Arabic ismu ishara, and the word that's pointing to mushara ilay. That's just something to keep in mind. So now we're going to look at different variations of using pointing phrases, or just using pointing words in general. So هذا القلم we said would be translated as this pen because we have a pointing word and the word coming after it has an alif lam. So this is our ismu ishara, pointing word, and this is our mushara ilay. The word is pointing to, and it's a pointing phrase. So then how would I say this is a pen? How would we make this into a sentence? Well, it's simple. All you change is the word coming after the ismu ishara, the pointing word. You change that into indefinite, and because of that, you now end up with a mubtada khabar construction, and you just drop an is in the middle. So it would be this is a pen. So how would I say this is the tree? We had before this tree, and then we had this is a pen. Now how would I say this is the tree? Well, to do this actually in Arabic, what you do is you insert a pronoun in between the regular pointing phrase, right? The regular pointing word phrase. Pointing phrase. You just throw a pronoun in between and it'll turn it into this is the tree. So, هذه هي الشجرة would mean this is the tree. That pronoun is pretty much going to serve kind of like an is, I guess you could say. It's going to be an indication of that. So let's look at another example. هذه هي الأقلام. So you might be wondering what's going on here with this word أقلام. It's plural, it's feminine, but the hiya that's speaking about it is singular and feminine. And the هذه that's speaking about it is singular and feminine. What you want to keep in mind is that broken plurals are treated singular feminine. So even the pronoun that we throw in the middle, it's going to be singular feminine. The word that's pointing to it, it's going to be singular feminine. This would be translated as these are the pens. Let's look at another example. ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْبَيْتُ, right? So we throw the huwa in between the pointing phrase. We throw that huwa in between. It becomes that is the house rather than that house. So let's look at a special scenario. What happens if I want to point to a mudaf ilayhi, right? This can be a little bit tricky, but really it's not too tough to remember. So just some things to keep in mind before we delve in. A mudaf, the associated word, can never take alif lam. So this creates a problem because remember, when it comes to pointing phrases, we have the pointing word pointing to a word that has alif lam. So how are we going to do this? How can it point to a mudaf ilayh when it can't take alif lam? So to make this work, all you have to do is put the pointing word after the construction. And in this way we could say this book of mine. This book of mine. This is now pointing to the mudaf ilayhi construction. But it has to come afterwards in order to achieve that because mudaf can't take alif lam ever. So to know that it's pointing to this construction, we just throw it after. And yeah, that's how you do that. Assalamu alaikum.